friggin'. Okay. Okay. This is going to be a quick stream. I'm not going to do a big long stream tonight because I'm too much of a moody mood. Goose fraba. Okay, so I'm doing it handheld with my phone. The sound quality is going to suck. I'm sorry. And it's just not going to be a big long stream tonight. The patience for it tonight. What can I say? You know, we all have those days, right? I actually had a pretty good day today, but I'm just not in the mood for these technical problems that I'm having. And it's just hotter than Hades here, and it's been hotter than Hades for days. It's been like, you know, anywhere from 90 to 100 degrees, like 115 with the heat index. It has been hot. And I think that's making me a little moody too. I'm not used to this like super high heat all the time. Like, I'm a New Englander. I'm not a Southerner. So it's a little hard for me to manage at times. Anyway, so I was going to stream from my computer, but I'm having some issues with something, so I'm not doing that tonight. Hopefully I can have it sorted by tomorrow. We shall see. Very annoying, but fun news. I did go and I went and got a tattoo today, which is kind of fun. New tattoo. Yay. That's hurting a little bit too, so maybe that's why I'm a little cranky. And I haven't gotten a ton of sleep lately, past couple days, so I'm just a little cranky. But I didn't share this out either, which I should do. Hold on, let me just share out this damn stream. Cranky old Heather. Oh, what am I doing? I'm going to have to flip this for a second. Hold on. I can't see what the hell I'm doing. All right, I'm just sharing it on Twitter and Facebook, and that's it. We're not going crazy. My friend's messaging me. I'm depressed. You're depressed. I'm moody. Clearly, he doesn't know I'm streaming. Okay. All right, at least I shared the fucker out. Okay, so back to Streamlabs. Blah, blah, blah. So, hi, Moody Heather. Wayne, if you're watching this, I can't mod you up from here. I have to do that from the computer, so that'll have to wait. Sorry, honey. Excuse me. So, yeah, I got a tattoo today. I will just talk about that for a minute. I found this tattoo place close to where I live. I had seen it several times, and it was so cool looking from the outside. Hey, John, how are you? Hi, how's Australia? I'm moody today. So I saw this really cool tattoo shop, and there are several tattoos that I've been wanting to get for a while now. So just recently, I contacted the tattoo shop, and I just wanted to go to this one particular tattoo shop because I thought it looked like a cool place. They have this awesome mural out front, like on top of their shop, like a gorgeous mural of like a naked woman lying with a huge snake wrapped around her body. And I'm like, oh, that place looks cool. And it's very close to where I live. I've ridden my bike past there a ton of times. And then it's called Catahoula Tattoo. And I have a Catahoula dog, so I'm like, ooh, that's cool synchronicity. And as it turns out, the owner of the shop is from Connecticut in New England, and I'm from Massachusetts, which is right next to Connecticut. So I was like, oh, cool. I definitely want to go there. So I did go there today. I am in my second lockdown and I'm struggling with my anxiety. Oh no, I mean, what do you mean by your second lockdown? I know here in Louisiana, starting today, all the bars closed again. So the bars can do takeout, like you can get takeout drinks to go, which isn't uncommon here in New Orleans and even in Louisiana. I'll never forget when I first moved to Louisiana and they had drive-through, like, you know, um, you could get like frozen margaritas through a drive-through. I'm like, oh, so what? You can drink and drive? Like that's okay? Like that made no sense to me. Only in Louisiana, but yeah, today here in Louisiana, the bars are closed again. And now it's a mandate that you're supposed to wear masks everywhere, not just in stores and businesses, but in public outside, which I don't, excuse me, really agree with the public outside thing. Um, we were released for about a month and now we are back under lockdown again. Really? Wow. Yeah, that's tough. I'm nervous that's going to happen here in the States too, because it seems like the numbers are going up again and people are getting sick again. And, a lot of people are sort of up in arms that, we didn't take it seriously. And now look, we're having a second wave. So I'm afraid we're heading toward lockdown again here as well. And it's a scary thought just because I already know somebody in New Orleans who went out of business. They just couldn't afford to keep their shop open. You know, there are people really going broke, and really losing money and out of work. And then there are people who are on unemployment and don't want to go back to work because they practically make more money on unemployment. And then, here in New Orleans, we're such a tourist town and such a service industry town that, the restaurants, the bars, the shops are all the tourist industry. So it's like, even though this is sort of the off season for us here because it's so hot in the summer. That we don't get as many tourists in the summer, but still having even just Bourbon Street just not operating the normal way, like people can't afford to keep their restaurants and their bars and their shops open if they're not making money. So I am really nervous for our city and our state that people can't survive this financially. It's scary stuff. Hey, Lori. Lori, are you not modded? I need to mod you back up on my laptop. I can't do that tonight or a little while. We'll see. Anyway, it's scary stuff. Everything that's going on in the world. Yeah, sorry, John. Hang in there, camper. You know, everybody's having a hard time. And if you get super stressed, you can always message me on Facebook. I'm always happy to talk people off the ledge. So, back to my tattoo story. So, I found this really cool place. So, I did end up, I messaged them on Facebook. They were very prompt, got back to me right away. Within a couple of hours, they had messaged me back and called me, I think the next day. And I had sent them my Ghost Queen logo, which you see part of. It's not in full here, but you can see in the corner of the screen there, my little ghost with the purple background and the little pink crown. The rest of the logo has legs and boots and striped legs. It is a very cute logo. I didn't create it myself. I hired someone to create it for me, and it was actually a very young girl. But I had seen some of her artwork, and I loved it. And she created this logo for me. It was the first logo she ever did, and she was thrilled. And I love it. I love the logo. So I sent the logo and asked them to give me a quote, which they did. And I had planned to get that tattooed today, and I had an appointment. But I ended up changing my mind because I'm just not sure where I want to put it yet on my body. And I wanted to talk to them about it a little bit more. And I asked for the owner to do the tattoo. So I went in there today. I met with him. He was very nice, and his name is Dominic. He was very sweet about me changing my mind and wanting to do a different tattoo today. So I ended up getting this sigil on my inner wrist, inner forearm, because, you know, I wanted to balance out. I have this one on this side, so I got this one on this side for balance. And I love it. It's not as thick as my other one, but because it's all straight lines, I think it looks better being thinner. It's sort of dainty and feminine, and straight lines are really hard to do, and he did a great job. I'm totally pleased with it. It really didn't even hurt that badly. He's very good at tattooing, and I ended up spending like a good couple of hours there, mostly just chatting with the owner because he is from New England. He's been here for about 6 years, and he's got a couple of dogs, Catahoula dogs. So, like, we just had a lot to talk about. We had a lot in common. His wife is from my hometown in Massachusetts. I love that synchronicity shit. You know I do. And I didn't know that his wife was from my hometown in Massachusetts. I grew up in a town called Northampton, and she's from Northampton as well. And I guess she's a public defender here in New Orleans. So that was really cool. We had a lot in common, a lot to chat about. Really nice guy. So if you're ever in New Orleans and you want a tattoo, I definitely recommend this place, Catahoula Tattoo. They also have live music there. And he also does some streaming. He has a YouTube channel. I'll put a link in the description after my live posts. And he started making t-shirts. Now, they do a cool thing at this tattoo shop. Their logo is, what it actually is a Catahoula dog with like a Mardi Gras mask on, but it's a plague doctor mask. So it totally made me think of Shannon, Mortis the Wizard. And it's a really cool little logo. And they actually have a special that if you want to get their logo tattooed, they will do it for free. And they'll give you a cup of coffee. So, you know, free tattoos. Hey, you can't knock that, right? So I'll probably get that tattoo done eventually. But I didn't want to do that straight away. Like, just walk into a tattoo shop I'd never been to and say, hey, just give me your free tattoo in the middle of, you know, a pandemic when you're not making any money anyway. That seemed kind of rude. So I figured I'll get a few of these tattoos done that I've been wanting to get done for a long time anyway, and then I'll get the free tattoo later on down the line. But, and he had some really great designs there, like some really cute voodoo dolls and stuff, and other things I saw that I liked. So that was fun. That was a really fun day for me. And I have been wanting to get this tattoo done for ages, so I'm glad I finally got it done. And now there's, obviously, like I say, I want to get my logo done, and I just have to figure out where I want to put it. And there's some other tattoos I want to get done as well. So one of the interesting things that I did find out today, though, in relation to the whole tattooing thing, is that because of COVID-19 and the restrictions that they have right now for these types of things, you can't get tattoos on your face or your fingers or your hands right now. And one of the ones I wanted to get done was on one of my fingers. And when he couldn't do that, I'm like, all right, well, maybe I could get it done on my hand. And he couldn't do that either. I was like, whoa, this is crazy. So it is crazy how much this pandemic is affecting us all in so many ways. This whole year has been nuts. 2020, like, fuck you, 2020. You suck. You know what I'm saying? What a shit year it's been for so many of us. Yeah, so John, I think you've already left, but you're not alone. A lot of people are dealing with anxiety right now, and stress in general, depression. Everybody's struggling. It's a hard time. This is a hard year for us all. So I don't know that that's necessarily going to make anybody feel any better, but you know what they say, misery loves company. So at least you're not alone in your misery. We're all experiencing it to some degree and at some times. So hang in there, people. I know it's a hard time. And then I did do a quick session. I actually brought a spirit box with me. And there's a woman who works at the desk there named Olivia, a younger girl, really sweet, really nice, very friendly. I chatted a lot with her. And neither of them really knew what a spirit box was. So I actually did a session with a spirit box, and they thought it was really cool. And we got some words come through, but there was at one point, and I heard a little kid voice, which was cool. And then at one point, a spirit said, "Do you know who I am?" And like, they thought that was like really cool, and I'm like, and the girl who works the front desk, her name is Olivia, she recorded the session. And so I was like, you guys need to go back through this, because you might hear more if you listen to it a few times. And I was kind of just explaining to them how the spirit box works, and what we do to review a session and whatnot, how we hear stuff and whatnot. So it was interesting. It's always cool to see people who don't know anything about spirit boxes, and when they hear them for the first time and they hear actual spirit communication come through, it's just exciting and fun to see people who are new to it. So that was pretty cool. I definitely love the shop. I love the vibe. I love the people there. Right up my street. And I love when I can connect with cool people, and I do feel like it's like a synchronicity thing when I see all these things that I'm like, oh yeah, this is telling me this is where I'm supposed to be. So that was cool. It was fun. And it was weird too, like right as I was leaving the house, and I biked over there because it's really close. Wayne was going to drive me, and I'm like, no, I just want to ride my bike. But right as I was leaving, it was like huge claps of thunder. And I'm like, I'm going to get caught in a major downpour. But it never rained. And like, even when I was standing outside the tattoo shop with Dom, the owner, and we were having a smoke together, we were seeing some huge bolts of lightning in the sky, but it didn't rain. It was weird. It's like that this time of year. It's hurricane season. So a lot of times we'll get this storm activity, but then no rain, and it's a crazy time of year. And we saw this huge hawk fly down out of the sky into like this big round bush, sort of in the center median, in the middle of the road, separating the lanes. And this huge hawk just like flew into the bush and then just flew out again. It was very odd. I just feel like there's a lot of odd things happening in the world right now. And then I saw Rosie O'Kelly was streaming earlier today, and she lives in California, and she was talking about a huge turkey vulture that was sitting on the power lines, and like, I don't know if it got electrocuted or what, but it just somehow it exploded and fell off the power lines and was dead there on the street, and she showed it, and it made the whole power go out in the whole neighborhood. A lot of weird activity with like birds and the weather. And then I heard now they've got squirrels testing positive for bubonic plague. Like, what the fuck is going on with this year? What's happening in the world? It's all craziness. Oh my goodness. So yeah, crazy times. Then I heard this morning or earlier today, and this was very upsetting, very tragic. Hold on, let me take a sip of my Coke. I got a Coke in a glass bottle. Do you not love Cokes in a glass bottle? I love Cokes in a glass bottle. I just feel like they taste better. Hey, Charmy, how are you? Thanks for coming in. This was very sad. This actually happened technically in my neighborhood, but really not too close to me. Like, I live on the edge of 7th Ward and Treme, but I'm really closer to Treme. I'm almost in Treme, but I'm right on the edge of the 7th Ward. So the 7th Ward is really big, and it extends out quite a ways, and there are some other areas that are kind of dicey, you know, and more higher crime areas and more drugs and crime and that sort of thing. My neighborhood isn't that bad, but there are other neighborhoods that are worse in the 7th Ward. And this happened in sort of an area, like I say, that's a little bit worse with the crime and drugs and stuff like that. But there was a shooting, and it was 3 kids that got shot. A 14 and 15-year-old, a girl and a boy, both got shot, and they're in the 9-year-old little boy got shot and killed. He was about to turn 10. And I mean, that made the news all over the world, because 9 years old, like, that's awful. It's horrific, you know, and the cops really didn't have any suspects or a motive or anything. And it's just sad stuff. And they had an interview with, you know, a very brief interview with the family, and the father was weeping, and or maybe it was the grandfather, I can't remember. I think it was maybe the grandfather that was just like weeping and upset. And who likes to see that? Very, very sad. Thinking about a 9-year-old little boy getting shot and killed is just, it's just too much. No one can handle that. It's so sad, so tragic. So that was very upsetting to hear about this morning. That's just senseless crime. You know, it's senseless violence. And I hate to hear about that sort of thing. So yeah, keep that little boy and his family in your thoughts and prayers. Very sad stuff. So I just wanted to mention that, because that sort of stuff always just bums me out and depresses me. Never like to hear stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So sad. You know, it's a weird thing, because I do spirit communication. I get excited when I hear the little kids come through, the little kid spirits, because I just get a lot of little kid spirits. But that doesn't mean, like, I'm glad that little children die. You know, nobody likes that children die young, you know, and God, that made me sad today, just hearing that about that little boy. Just really awful, especially so close to home. I wish I could have prevented that somehow. But of course, you know, that's not a logical thought. But you can't help but think that, you know, just so sad. So anyway, that was just awful. So that's that. I did do a quick stream this morning, very early, and it hasn't posted yet. You know, when I do these live streams, they take like half a day or a day to actually post to my channel. So that'll probably show up like later tonight or tomorrow morning or something. So you can check it out on review if you would like. But I was talking about the fact that I did whack my head. Like, it's just starting to go away. I had this huge egg and bruise right here, like almost right at my temple, and I'm fairly sure I gave myself a concussion. I didn't go to the hospital because I just hate going to the hospital unless I'm like dying. I don't want to go to the hospital or the doctor. So I didn't go. Because I do the research myself, and I'm like, what could they do for me anyway? Even if I had a concussion, like, there's nothing much they're going to do for me, you know? So I may have gotten a slight concussion, and it really affected my neck. I felt like I had whiplash. So I really was taking it easy for a few days and just trying to rest. And, like, I had a really bad headache, and my neck was really hurting and killing me, like I had whiplash. So that's why I haven't been streaming the past few days. I've been taking it easy and resting, and just trying to recover from that. And I am starting to finally feel better, but I wasn't sleeping super well either because my head hurt, my neck hurt. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that, Lori. Yeah, you know, so, you know, it's like when you're kind of like in pain, you're just kind of moody, and if you're not sleeping a lot, you get moody. And so I'd been kind of trying to just not get online for live streaming over the past few days because I wasn't in the best place. But I was better today. But then I was having like problems with my camera and shit, and I'm like, I was getting cranky. But here we are. So what else can I tell you? The other night, I was trying to go to sleep, and sometimes, like, if I am trying to fall asleep and I'm having trouble, I'll listen to, you know, like a documentary on YouTube or something. And I was listening to this documentary. Hey, Crystal, how are you? Thanks for coming in. Welcome to the stream. I was listening to this documentary the other day that I found very interesting. It was about two families that are Amish in Pennsylvania, and I always find these little subcultures sort of interesting, and in general. But this was interesting, is that these two families, like it was a husband and wife and their kids, and there was two of them, they've actually left their community, or I should say probably gotten kicked out of their community because they have differences of opinions about some of the rules, and the Amish have a lot of rules, and they don't agree with a few of the rules, so they've left, but they're still practicing the Amish lifestyle for the most part. So it was just interesting stuff. I was listening to it. Like, for instance, they're not supposed to have any kind of modern technology. You know, they're not supposed to interact with the modern world as far as, like, they're not allowed to have phones in their house. They can have a phone, like, let's say, in their shed out back, but not in the house. Hey, Marcy, thanks for popping in. Great to see you, honey. So, yeah, just like hearing some of the rules that they have and how they kind of figure out their way around the rules. Like I say, like, they're not allowed to have phones in the house. They can't have electricity in the house, but they can put a phone out in the shed. because like if you need a phone for your business, let's say, you can have a phone out in the shed, but not in the house, because that's drawing the evil into your home. Like, it's just kind of weird shit listening to all this stuff. It just fascinates me. These, like I say, these little subcultures and how some people live, I just find fascinating. So I was listening to this documentary. It's very interesting. I might talk about it more another time. I don't know. I'd have to do a little bit more research before I did like a whole show about it. But it was interesting stuff. I'll try to remember to put a link in the description after this stream posts if you want to check it out. I find it fascinating. But it's just like those type of people, when they leave a sort of community like that, and frankly, I think a lot of these religious communities are very culty. They're very cult-like in their beliefs and philosophy, and the way that they run the community seems very cult-like to me. Like Scientology and all these weird sort of religions. But, but then again, people think my spiritual practice is weird. It's all a matter of perspective and opinion. So, but anyway, it's just like it's based off the Bible. Like a lot of their beliefs and practices are based off the Bible, for instance, but they're not allowed to study the Bible in a small group in their home. Like, what a weird rule. That doesn't even seem to make any sense, And so some of the younger generation are waking up to some of the, the hypocrisy, or at least, how should I phrase it, unreasonable or not logical rules, and they're starting to buck back and say, hey, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense, or whatever. But then what happens is, if they don't follow the rules, they get kicked out. But they've been raised Amish their entire lives, so they don't want to give up. Yeah, it sounds crackly. Every time I fucking stream with the phone, it sounds crackly. I don't know why, because it was doing it with that old phone, but now it's doing it with this new phone. Oh, don't start, Wayne. You shouldn't have said anything, because now I'm getting cranky again. I'm irritated. Why can't I just stream properly? Anyway, yeah, so if they get kicked out of the Amish community, they still want to practice most of their, Amish beliefs that they've grown up with since they were infants, and now they're adults with their own families, and they're raising their children in the same way that they were raised. But they get kicked out of the community just for disagreeing over a couple of rules and beliefs. So they're ostracized from the Amish community. And it's sort of like the same as the whole Scientology thing. Like, if they get kicked out of the Amish community, then the community is discouraged from even, associating with them. So now you've got Amish people who have been kicked out of the Amish community, so they're rejected from that community, but they're never going to be really fully accepted in, our modern day community either, because everyone thinks they're so out there and strange because they're Amish and they have a lot of different practices and beliefs, that are so different from modern day society. So they don't really fit in anywhere at that point. And so I really feel for those types of people. They truly become like outcasts and misfits that really don't fit in anywhere anymore, So, yeah, I think that's kind of sad stuff, and I feel for those people. I guess I've always sort of felt like I don't fit in anywhere. So I always kind of empathize with those people who don't have a place, don't have a tribe anymore, don't have anywhere where they fit in and where they're accepted. So, yeah, I have a lot of empathy and compassion for them. So that was sort of an interesting thing that I watched recently. Wayne and I just started watching the show Lucifer. I'd never seen it. We just watched the first episode tonight, and I thought it was hilarious. Really funny. And another funny thing we watched, God, I feel like we're watching so much fucking TV and not doing other good things, but a lot of people are watching TV during the pandemic, I guess. Anyway, I've always sort of watched this on YouTube. If you haven't seen Brewstew, they are hysterical. It's like a little cartoon, and they put out these little episodes, and they're so fucking funny. So if you haven't seen Brewstew, check it out. I saw some really funny ones with Wayne, and we were watching the other day. Again, I'll put a link in the description after the stream. So, especially since Wayne's telling me the sound kind of sucks, I don't think I'm going to do a spirit box session tonight, and I feel bad because that was the plan. Hopefully I can sort out some of my streaming issues, and I'll try to stream tomorrow night instead. I didn't want to just not stream tonight and cancel altogether because I felt bad because I said I was going to stream tonight, but at least I'm showing my face and saying hello and telling you what's going on, and I'll try again tomorrow night, see if we can do better. See if I can sort out some of my streaming issues. But, yeah, I know the mask thing is sort of controversial right now, so I'm not going to get into a big thing about it tonight. What's the matter?
I think it's only crackling when you talk loud. I think maybe it's like, it's clipping.
Okay. I'm outside in the Para Lounge. I'm still working on this a little bit. Like, I've started hanging Mardi Gras beads around and stuff. Oh, that could be it. That could be it. Is that better? It could be the Bluetooth. Because that would make sense. That would make sense if it was crackly on both phones. Okay. All right. Thank you, Wayne. So, yeah. No, I'm completely distracted. Anyway, what else do I have to mention? Oh my God, you guys would have totally laughed. I need to post a couple of these videos. I've told you about these, what I call the pterodactyls that are on Esplanade Avenue, just down the street from me. There's this one block where we have these black-crowned night herons that nest up in these huge oaks, and there are tons of nests. And so this one block is just covered with oak trees that overhang the street and stuff, and there are all these huge oak trees, and it's over where the Degas house is. And as you approach, you can hear these birds, and they make the craziest, weirdest noises. Sometimes they'll sound like almost human-like, like a human screaming or something. They make really bizarre noises and sounds. They're very noisy, and when you're over there, it sounds like you're in the bloody jungle. They shit everywhere, all over the road and the sidewalks and the foliage, and it's a really bizarre thing that, like, right in the city, you have these nesting birds. Yeah, I heard that too, Nix. Stop barking. And anyway, I often walk the dog down there, and you will sometimes see these dead birds in the road, like the chicks. So the other night, I'm walking Nix. Wayne, can you call her in? If you're still listening, Wayne, can you call Nix in the house? Hush. She's my little guard dog. Shush. Nix. Anyway, so I don't know what happens with these chicks. I did read that these birds will actually be cannibalistic and eat each other. I don't know if that's all the time or just if they're particularly hungry or whatnot. And you will see like dead fish that clearly like the parents have brought to feed the babies, and they drop one here or there, so you'll see dead fish in the road. But sometimes you'll see dead chicks, and I don't know what's happening. I don't know if they fall out of the nest and somehow can't get back up, or if they fall and they just accidentally get hit by a car, or what the story is. But the other night, it was like 3 or 4 in the morning, and I'm out walking Nix. Now, a lot of times, Wayne and I, in the summertime, when it's this hot, we get into this bad habit of like staying up all night and sleeping all day because we're just trying to sleep through the heat. It's so awful. But, so that's why I'm like up at 3 or 4 in the morning. So I was walking the dog, and I saw this chick running around the whole block, and it was so cute. It looked like a little baby ostrich. That's the best way I can describe it. When I saw it, I'm like, oh my God, you look like a tiny little ostrich. So I'm kind of like following it, and it was like hiding behind a tree and like hiding behind this huge oak tree and like peeking around the corner at me, almost like in a playful way. Like it didn't look terrified or scared of me. It looked like it was playful, and kind of playing around with me. But I started feeling all worried about it. So I brought Nix home and I went back there because I'm like, I don't know if this chick is like, it wasn't a teeny chick, it had to be at least 6 inches tall. Like I say, it looked like this little baby ostrich running around. And I'm like, did it fall out of the tree and it can't get back up now? And is it going to just wander until it gets hit by a car? And I'm like, I've seen these dead chicks, and I'm like, this little guy is so cute, and I don't want him to get hit, and I don't want him to die. And I'm like, I don't know, should I try to catch him and see if I can help him or save him? And I don't even know how, but should I? I'm like the animal rescue person over here. So I brought Nix home, and I went and I got this big laundry basket, like a tall, round laundry basket, which I brought back with me. Now, mind you, it was about like 95 degrees, even in the middle of the night. The humidity was probably 95%. I was dripping sweat, pouring off of me on every spot of my body. And I'm chasing this little chick around this whole block in the middle of the night. I'm like, if anybody sees me, they're going to think I'm a nutcase. And I'm thinking maybe I can try to get the laundry basket over it to try to catch it. I don't know. It was crazy. And I was being crazy. And I didn't catch it. And I don't know if it's okay, and if it made it back up into the nest, or if it got killed. I have no idea what happened to it. But I spent a good portion of time of the evening doing this in the middle of the night. It was insane. But the thing was wicked cute. And I did get a video of it peeking around the tree at me. So I'm going to try to clip that and post it just because it was adorable. This thing was so cute. And I got a little video of it like waddling across the street at one point. I love these birds. I love going down to see them. So, yeah, I've still been visiting with the pterodactyls. We haven't done anything paranormal. We still haven't even done a session in the house here. And we had a Ouija board that I had on the fridge that was gifted to me by this lovely woman that I met at a dinner party.
And it came from a friend of hers who had actually killed himself. And she had a vision before he died that he was going to kill himself in the manner which he did. And this was his Ouija board. And it literally flung off the fridge the other night onto the floor and like banged when it hit the floor and really startled Wayne and I. And so I was like, whoa, that was crazy. We do have a lot of spirit activity here in the house. Doors opening by themselves, a lot of things falling here and there or being thrown. I've actually heard spirit voices in the bedroom, and even Wayne has heard some spirit voices in the bedroom, and he did get a pretty good EVP in the bedroom one night when we were hearing spirit voices. So we definitely have activity in this house. It is an older home. I don't know what year it was built, but I mentioned this in the stream this morning. This is an area that was very hard hit by Katrina. In fact, on this street, on this particular block, we have a home right next to us that's still boarded up from Katrina. And then we have another house 2 houses down that's still boarded up from Katrina. A lot of these homes were so badly damaged that they were kind of like condemned, and they just stayed boarded up. And the people, you know, probably just didn't have the money to fix them back up to a state that was, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Habitable, you know, able to live in. It would have just been too expensive and they couldn't afford to do it. Or some people left and moved, you know, other places and didn't come back here after Katrina. So there were so many people displaced, and then obviously there were a lot of deaths as well. So yeah, this was an area very hard hit by Katrina, and I've noticed that whenever there's a storm, the spirits really seem to kick up in that bedroom. So I don't know if they are spirits that were, you know, people that passed during Katrina or what. It could be. So I guess the point is I feel like we will get some interesting spirit box sessions here once we finally get around to doing some. So we will do that soon. Not tonight, but soon. Maybe tomorrow night. Yeah. Yeah, you can definitely tell this house was affected by Katrina. That there was damage to this property. So, yeah. I have been going over to the French Quarter and just kind of keeping an eye on Bourbon Street and seeing what it's like. When I went there this weekend, I did go over there on Saturday night, and it was probably the busiest I've seen it since the pandemic started and since I moved into, you know, downtown New Orleans. Bourbon Street was the busiest I've seen it Saturday night. But also, I think that might be because by then, certainly the locals already knew that the bars were going to shut again. So maybe everybody was like going out to party while they still could before the bars closed again. So yeah, I imagine it's going to kind of die back down again and get kind of dead. I mean, because everything hadn't reopened anyway, only some businesses. There was still a lot that was still closed. So it's crazy to be here. You know, Wayne and I had spent so much time in the French Quarter before we lived here and saw it in the mad throngs. And obviously, I mean, he grew up here, so he's seen it be busy and crazy. And for him to see it this dead, I wish he had been down here when it was like a ghost town, because that probably would have been cool for him to see. It was definitely cool for me to see. But at least I took some videos so he can see it virtually, because it's just wild to be in a huge city that's normally crammed with people to then have it be just this ghost town and have no one around, to the point where you can stand in the middle of the road and film videos. It's wild. So, yeah. That's that. As I say, I know a lot of people are struggling right now. You know, a lot of people are having financial problems. Like my friend John from Australia said, you know, a lot of people dealing with anxiety right now, worrying about the future, worrying how they're going to survive financially, worrying about money, work, family, worrying if, you know, they're going to get sick, or family members are going to get sick, or friends. So much anxiety and stress and depression in the air right now. So, you know, and that can affect your mood too and make you cranky. Like I have been a little cranky and short-tempered today. And this week in general, I was a little short-tempered this week. So be mindful of your moods. And really, for me, the best thing I do for myself when I get moody like that, to try to fix it, is I like laughter. You know, I like comedy. And so, like I say, I will often go watch a funny show, a funny movie. Those Bruce Stew videos are fantastic to turn my mood around. It's always humor that's going to do it for me. You know, even just stupid, funny stuff on the internet can just make me laugh and pull me out of a crappy mood. Music, if I start rocking out to music, a lot of times that can turn it around for me. Or sometimes when I'm like depressed or bummed out, I oftentimes just take a nap. You know, it is sort of like an escape thing. You know, I just get overwhelmed and I have to lay down and I just take a little nap. And then I wake up and I feel better. So, yeah, meditation obviously can really help with a lot of that stuff. Exercise, you know. I've been trying to encourage a lot of people to go out and get some exercise. If you're stuck in the house and you're not feeling super great, you know, if you're depressed or riddled with anxiety and you're staying inside, which is a natural thing a lot of us tend to do if we are depressed or overwhelmed or riddled with anxiety, we tend to isolate and stay at home and just marinate in that shit. But the thing is that if you can force yourself to get out and get a little exercise, get out in nature, whether that's going for a walk, a bike ride, go for a swim somewhere, whatever it is, roller skate, rollerblade, anything, even if it's just going out for a walk. What you have to remember is that exercise will produce those endorphins that can actually make you be in a better mood. So even though it seems counterintuitive, sometimes you have to force yourself to just go and do it because you logically know it will help turn your mood around. So because you want to keep your... So, yeah, and as I say, you know, if you are really struggling and you're feeling down in the dumps or depressed or whatever, reach out to friends, have a chat, call someone up. You can always message me. I'm Miss Chit Chatty. I can talk to anybody. And I do. I talk to everyone. These poor people in the tattoo shop today, I was chatting their ear off. Like, I can talk to anyone. So feel free to reach out if you're struggling. I'm always happy to lend an ear and listen. Don't know that I can solve all your problems, but I'm a good listener. So yeah, don't isolate and stay alone. That's always the worst thing for you. So that's it, people. Hang in there. I think I'm going to wrap it up for tonight. But thanks to everybody for popping in to say hello. check tomorrow night. I should be streaming tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have sorted some of these technical difficulties out and we can actually do a spirit box session, because I am dying to do one. And I think it'll be really fun. I was excited today just to hear the little kid come through during the quick session I did at the tattoo shop. So yeah, I love getting those little kid voices. So I am really looking forward to doing a session. So I will try to do that tomorrow. Sorry it didn't happen tonight. I was running late anyway, and this is kind of late for some people. So we'll shoot again for tomorrow night. I'm sure as soon as I sign off, I'll remember a billion things I wanted to say, but oh well. That's why we have another day. So once again, there's my new cool tattoo. I have to wash it and put some more A&D ointment on it, but I'm pretty pleased with it. I like it a lot. And I have some exciting ideas for some other tattoos. I see Wayne responding to some people in chat. I don't think all my chat's coming up. So if you said something to me and I missed it, I apologize. StreamYards is weird. Sometimes I don't see all the chat. So anyway, people, have a great night. Happy Tuesday. Tomorrow's hump day. Happy hump day. I'll stream in the morning if I'm having my coffee and I'm in the mood. I know not everybody is up and into the morning chats, but I just have to keep streaming and keep forcing myself to do it so I get back into the habit. But yeah, but I'm definitely going to try to stream tomorrow night, and we'll talk about paranormal stuff. I've got a couple of subjects I want to discuss that are paranormal related tomorrow, and I guess that's it. Stay safe, people, and stay healthy, exercise, wash your hands, stay clean, but try not to be too worried and paranoid, because that, stress creates cortisol. That will lower your immune system, and you want to keep your immune system high. Eat superfoods right now. If you don't know what they are, just do a Google search for superfoods. That's a good thing to be eating right now. I just bought some dried blueberries to eat as a snack. That's a superfood. Superfoods are really good to eat right now to help keep your immune system high. If you need help with nutrition, one of my good girlfriends here in New Orleans, she does that for a living. She coaches people about how to eat healthy and have healthy nutrition. She's a vegan. So if you need any advice, I can always refer you to her. Hit me up and I'll pass you along. But that's it, guys. I love Cokes in bottles. I don't know. I feel like they just taste better. I love Cokes in cans too, because I feel like the cans are always colder and they taste better. And I feel like it's the same with bottles. I hate Cokes in a plastic bottle. Plastic bad. So that's it, guys. Yeah, have a great night. Have a great sleep. Excuse me, I'm belching. Be happy. Try not to be too stressed. Be kind. Be loving. Be generous. Be compassionate. Be empathetic. Be kind. Don't be mean. Don't be cruel. Don't be an internet troll. Be nice. Right now, we all need to be a little bit more patient, a little bit more kind, a little bit more understanding and compassionate and forgiving. And try to remember, you never know what somebody's going through in their personal life. And sometimes you see people who might seem like they're acting like a dick, but they might be going through a hard time. You never know. So just try to be patient. We all need to come together to get through this thing alive. Okay? So, yeah. Kiss your loved ones and tell them everything you want to say, because you never know which day is your last day or theirs, especially now And make love, not war. Don't let the demons bite. And until next time, I bid you adieu. Thanks for joining me, and I shall see you again very, very soon. Maybe I'll even wear my crown tomorrow night. It's been a while. Alright, good night, guys. Be good, be well. Be good, but not too good. See you soon. Good night.